are 100 Kauravas and 5 Pandavas. And in between, the spring season begins. In spring, Dandi, all the flowers bloom and sway, including the jasmine flowers. The time when Shanmuga flowers bloom and sway is accompanied by a gentle breeze. Pandu begins to be enchanted by Madri's beauty. At that time, taking these 5 children into the vast and mysterious wilderness, if they took the children along to visit a sage's ashram nearby to receive blessings, at this time Kunti and Pandu are alone, and nature begins to stir Pandu. It is said that city pleasure is better than the great joy of the city. Now he is advancing to unite with Madri. One must see that his life is coming to an end. A curse from some sage has been fulfilled. That sage cursed, saying, "With joy and enthusiasm you will perish while uniting with your wife." Forgetting that curse, he attempts to unite with Madri. Pandu is perishing. Hearing the commotion, the children come running to see where Pandu is lying. After that, Madri declares that she will no longer live in this world, arranges the funeral, and enters the pyre, sacrificing her life. After that, with the support of the sages, the male children also set out towards Hastinapura. In the midst of danger, the mother entrusted all 15 children to them. Seeing this and witnessing the news of Pandu's demise, the children who were left without a father suffered. Observing the plight of the children, Vidura wept. Bhishma cried. Krishna, Vasudeva, and Devaki, the father of the child, Kunti's brother, and everyone came to Shinapura to inquire about the mourning. From that day, they said, "These children are your responsibility." The 5 children went and fell at the feet of Dhritarashtra. "Uncle, please." With tears in my eyes, I embraced those children. After saying not to worry, the Pandavas and the Kauravas lived happily together in Hastinapura for a long time. But this happiness did not last long. Among the Pandavas, Bhima was like a Garuda. There, among the Kauravas, Duryodhana was like a serpent. Just as a snake has eyes, Duryodhana was created with such eyes. Just as the eyes of a Garuda are, Vimana was endowed with the power to see clearly even from a distance. We see that Bhima, like a Garuda, and Duryodhana, like a serpent, both nurtured enmity. If asked whether love grew day by day, the answer is no. If asked whether they grew together, the answer is no. Instead, both nurtured a terrible enmity. The Pandavas and Kauravas are growing together. They are living in the same place. However, between Bhima and Duryodhana, there was a great enmity that arose without them realizing it. Everyone has jealousy towards someone for some reason, but there should be no jealousy. It is a great disease. Jealousy itself. If there is no jealousy in a life that leads to pride, we will be at peace. There is no alternative opinion on that. If there is jealousy, we cannot sleep. We cannot eat. We cannot act. For 24 hours, whoever we are jealous of will only be a thought in our mind. It leads to anger. There is truly no more devastating disease in this world than jealousy. For some people, seeing the talents of others can lead to jealousy. Are they dancing so beautifully? We might think that we should dance like them, but that's not wrong. If they are dancing, then they deserve the recognition. Why would there be jealousy in Brahma for some people who are so beautiful? Some people are so impressive to look at. They are wise and talented. This can lead to jealousy. If you say that one person feels jealousy towards another, there is a reason behind it. Duryodhana had intense jealousy towards Draupadi. Just by seeing the airplane, Duryodhana felt uneasy. And the reason for that is Bhima's strength. Some people feel jealousy upon seeing beauty, while others feel it upon seeing talent. Duryodhana felt jealousy towards Bhima's strength, which is why he thought of eliminating him. A dog is barking while all the Kauravas and Pandavas are bathing in the Ganges. After a refreshing bath in the sacred Ganges, they all joyfully played and are now lying down to sleep. Bhima is sleeping deeply, forgetting himself. He is a person who can sleep while forgetting himself. At night, Duryodhana tied his hands and legs and brought him to the Ganges, throwing him away. Now he is supposed to be in the Ganges. Those branches are supposed to be below the river. Look at the branches, spread out everywhere. Those branches surrounded him like that. Now, if you say there is a tree on the bank, it refers to the roots of that tree. As long as the river flows, it will go on. In that way, it surrounded him. It took Bhima several hours to remove all of that and come out. But he skillfully climbed onto the bank after removing all those roots. Sister, this Bhima has come out alive. Duryodhana, filled with jealousy, was searching for an opportunity to kill him again. On another day, what happened was that all the snakes were sent, and they said not to strike Bhima with those snakes. Bhima is a very strong warrior. Whatever he does, look at how he crushes all those snakes like insects. At one time, the tortoise was a great nuisance. Just like the tortoise pest is crushed, the snakes with poison were completely trapped. This snake bit him, and because of that, he became very weak. But he did not die. He started to capture all the snakes. Duryodhana, along with the astrologer, carefully plotted what to do since he is still alive. He conducted the arrangements at a specific place in the Ganges. He set up around 20-30 arrangements. Duryodhana jumped into the water after pushing that spear a little aside. Looking at the mind, just like Bhima had excessive love, you too come and jump to play. Before Bhima was about to jump, he noticed that the insects were sitting on the water at the jumping spot. It wasn't just the strong one who thought. Bhima was also very clever. And he figured out how the insects were sitting on the water. There is something in this. That's why the insects are sitting here. If you look closely, all of them are on the surface of the water. He realized it was sitting on the surface there. He knew and left the place, going in another direction to drink. Duryodhana was absolutely furious, thinking that he couldn't be captured by us now. He was waiting for an opportunity. One day, he very carefully mixed poison into a delicious meal and slowly, deceitfully served it to Bhima, who ate it. Due to this poisoned food, he fell unconscious. After binding Bhima's hands and feet, they took him to the river and threw him into the Ganges. The one who fell into the Ganges in this unconscious state was unaware of himself. He ended up joining the serpent world in the depths of the river. Meanwhile, as he was seeing the serpent king Vasuhi, what happened was that he was bound and thrown into the water. The poisonous snakes in the water stole him again. Previously, he had already consumed poison in the food. That poison is now inside his body. Now, as he falls into the water, the poisonous snakes that reside in the water are provoking him. That poison did not affect him at all. However, in his unconscious state, he ended up joining the serpent world in the depths of the Ganges. When asked who the serpent king was in that serpent world, it was Vasuhi. He is Bhima, one of the 5 Pandavas. He is extremely powerful. He was indeed called and truly honored, and he was graciously given nectar to drink from a container. After drinking the nectar, in the next moment, Bhima, who had transformed, was bitten by a snake. Nanda looked at him like a cow in distress. The snake Vasuhi, who loved him, bound him there with affection, allowing him to stay in Nagaloka for 8 days. What is he doing now? Spending time lovingly with Nagarajan. He will stay in that Nagaloka for 8 days. When Bhima was lost, Kunti was distressed. The 4 Pandavas are searching for him everywhere. They are searching tirelessly in every place, including the pond and the lake, but they cannot find him. He is outside, inside Nagaloka. He is sitting and conversing with Nagarajan, Vasuhi, but they are visible. Duryodhana could not contain his joy. All the Kauravas were in a state of happiness and excitement. Such happiness! If Bhima is dead, he will not return anymore. But indeed, once more, Nagarajan Vasuhi compelled the snakes to carry Bhima, and all of the snakes carried Bhima and brought him back to the same Ganges. The one who arrived at the Ganges swiftly and efficiently crossed over and came to the shore. Now the child is happy. When she saw her son, she was immersed in the joy of happiness. All the Pandavas were deeply immersed in great happiness. Bhishma and Vidura, everyone was very happy like this. They were very pleased to hear that Bhima is alive. As Mother Kunti had already said, don't worry. Nothing will happen to Bhima. He will definitely come back alive. Bhishma, who saw it with his divine vision, said that he will return alive without any danger. Don't worry, but if a mother sheds tears, it's because of the boy. Only after seeing Bhima now has Kunti's life returned. His love for him is overwhelming. As soon as he sees him, doesn't he suffer for a while losing that child? The result of that is such a truly immense love for the child when he sees him indeed. Bhima is undoubtedly a very remarkably great and incredibly skilled warrior. One must see that an ordinary warrior like him has come back from Nagaloka after 8 days and stood as a challenge to Duryodhana. Throughout time, these two are always on opposite sides. Dipan is always like Garuda, while Duryodhana is always like a fierce, venomous serpent. What would happen if a serpent and Garuda meet 11 times? Is it not bringing? Just like that, their meetings are always very brutal.